Hey, what's up everybody? Let's not waste any time and let's get straight into the replay. What's up everybody and welcome to another replay episode for building up the Guardian farm. A lot has happened in the Minecraft community and we'll get to all that in just a moment. First, I just want to say that this is the step in building up this farm where we are building up the spawning chambers. So it's going to be super exciting because that means we're almost done with this. And that means that the very next episode, we won't have to worry about making a complete series of replays in order to craft an episode for this Guardian farm. We will be back to full-fledged Minecraft episodes, I hope, depending on my new schedule, because a lot has happened with me as well. So what's happening is in this replay series here, we are building up the spawning chambers. And the first thing we have to do there is actually build the catches, or what I call the catches, for these spawning chambers. What happens is that the top portion, like 90% of these spawning chambers, is where the guardians spawn. And there are water columns that will push the guardians down into these catches. And the catches is basically like the most bottom layer of the spawning chamber. There's a bit of a gap between where they spawn and where the bottom layer is, and that's because we want the water columns to be separated so that they cannot swim back up, and so that they fall straight down very easily. From there, they get funneled into these hallways or necks that go into the direct center of this farm, and you can kind of see a little bit of that happening right now. With this first catch, I'm making sure that all of the water that is on that bottom layer is funneling all of the guardians to the very center of that farm. It's very important that as soon as those guardians drop, they are being funneled straight out of the spawning chambers and up into a centralized column that is going to be shooting the guardians up and into the air and out above the area of the guardian farm itself, because guardians will spawn from ocean level down to, I think it's -30 or -20. They have a pretty good portion of spawn area within the actual ocean monument area. So what's happening is, first we will build up all of the catches and make sure that everything is funneling properly. And we have to do that for each spawning chamber first, because it's a headache to try and do this afterwards. So right now you can actually see that we have completed the straight hallways, the chambers or the catches for the straight hallways. Now we have to do the ones that sit at a diagonal. There's a total of 8 chambers, 4 diagonal, 4 straight. And we have to make sure that all of these are funneling properly towards the center of the farm. And because there are diagonal ones and there are straight ones, those necks that lead to the center of the ocean monument area are different lengths. The straight ones are a lot shorter, and the hallways are a bit easier to flow through because the walls of those hallways are straight, they're smooth, while the diagonal ones are jagged because of the block nature of Minecraft. Either way, we have to make sure that the water that is flowing out of the catches, that is funneling outwards to the center, is flowing nicely. And then at the center, we have to create an area where those hallways don't interfere with the water column that's going to be shooting up and out of the farm. It's a bit of a tricky situation, but it's not difficult at all. I should also add that for some odd reason, the design of this farm itself kind of reminds me of the British flag. The way those hallways are leading towards the center of the farm area. It's kind of funny to me for some odd reason. Now this process also involved me flying back and forth to the castle, to the farm, to the castle, back to the Ocean Monument Farm, and just managing the numerous number of resources that I had to use for this, because my chest would fill up, or I would need to go and grab more of a certain thing, and I was flying back and forth a lot. And in that process, it would unload these chunks when I flew over to the castle. So I tried to cut a lot of those out. You may notice some weird cuts in some of the replays, but hopefully it's still smooth enough to enjoy. And I gotta say again, I really appreciate you guys just really liking these chilled episodes. It's pretty refreshing to hear that. You can kind of see here as well that I've also just started to dig out a little bit of the corner of the base of the floor for this area. There is a bit that is happening underneath this farm that isn't going to be really shown in this episode, but I may add it in as an added note towards the end. So here you can see we are almost done with adding in those catches. Just one more to go, and we will start building up the spawning chambers itself. So here, with all of the catches done, you can see that we're starting to build up the walls for both the hallways and that gap where the catch is, and the top of where, I should say the bottom of where the spawnable area is going to start. Once those are all walled up, I start to kind of add some roofing to those hallways, because now we know for sure that the hallways are flowing nicely. We shouldn't have any issues with that. And I also have to start building up that centralized glass column that is going to be shooting up and out of the Guardian Farm area. This is going to be such a fun build. I'm really excited to finish this one, and next time that we have an episode, we're going to be building up the AFK area, which I think is going to be super fun. And here, of course, you can see I'm starting to build the filter, or what I call the filter for the spawning area. And what it is just a layer of signs and a layer of wooden gates above it. And the signs are a complete layer all throughout the bottom. And then there's a checkered pattern for the gates, and that's going to allow me to separate the water columns from the top to the bottom. Because once we're here at the top, this is going to be just another layer of gates that are going to be put in a checker pattern in order to control the separation of the water columns. You can see that I didn't really make these very fancy. I did build this up in a test world to make sure that the farm works adequately for the server, and I built that one up fancier than this one. This one I decided to not make so fancy, just because I decided to cover up each chamber with a sheet of ice, because we've got some plans for how we're going to decorate and design this farm. And here you can see that process of building up that top filter and removing the dirt while opening up the gates and putting down each water column that is going to allow those guardians to spawn in and start the activation of our guardian farm. Now this is just one chamber that's getting activated so far, and you're going to start to see the guardians spawn and move up that centralized column. But as the video goes on, you're also going to see many of the other chambers be built up in this process, and more guardians spawn in over time while that happens. So here you can see that the second chamber now is getting the filter put in place. And we're going to start to build up those walls, but you're already starting to see a couple of guardians spawn in and move up that centralized column. So we've got the signs down, we've got the gates in place. I'm doing a little bit of some cleanup there, just to make sure that things are working, and lighting and stuff like that. And now we're going to start to build up those walls for the spawning chamber. This is going from the absolute most bottom layer to the top layer that where guardians spawn. So we're trying to utilize as much spawnable area as possible. And because these aren't as fancy, these chambers are actually a block wider along every side. So it's a little bit bigger than my test world one, and that means that we're able to get a little bit more spawns than what I had initially planned. So here I'm installing, or I should say I'm adding in the water between each gate, and those are creating the water columns down into the spawning chamber itself, creating those spawnable areas for the guardians to spawn into. And we should be seeing also some guardians spawn in and move up that centralized column that you can see a lot better now as well. Once every chamber is done, I then just cover it with a sheet of packed ice, and I just can't wait to get this farm done. It's going to be so much fun visually and functionally. So while this is continuing the process of building up these spawning chambers, keep an eye on that centralized column. You will see guardians move up through it, and just want to say that towards the end of this video, you're going to notice that the shaders are miraculously or mysteriously gone, and that's because during the process of building up these spawning areas for this guardian farm, the days that it took to do this, we have moved over to Minecraft version 1.19, which was released a bit ago now from the time that you guys are watching this. But that also means that there is a bit of waiting that we have to do for the server to get some of the mods updated as well, because some of those supporting mods also need to be updated to support or be compatible with 1.19. So for us on the server, it takes a bit of time. Not only that I'm also having a bit of trouble with shaders and replay mod at the same time, and that's because I use Optifine, and I think right now OptiFabric, one of the supporting mods to be able to do that stuff, is not fully compatible yet. I think they still need to put out another version because the current version is causing some crashes. Now, I did try to switch over to Sodium, but Sodium is not allowing me to use replay mod, which others don't seem to have that problem, but for whatever reason I do, and I've tried this install on 2 different computers now, and it's the same issue. So I'm not sure what's happening with Sodium on that front, but I guess I'm just going to wait for OptiFabric to be fully updated, and we can get just everything working as it was before. So no shaders for me for now, but at least we do have replay mod, and hopefully we can still kind of create some fun stuff. I know shaders aren't important to some of you guys, but it is for me. I absolutely love the way that the world looks with shaders. Just adds that much more atmosphere, and I love to immerse myself in the atmosphere of a game. Just makes it so much more fun and attachment or immersive or whatever you want to call it. It's just, it feels different. It gives it a nice feel when there's more atmosphere to a game. We've also learned in the Minecraft community that the legend Technoblade has passed away from cancer at the age of 23. It's some sad news, some very sad news. And it just makes me want to tell you guys, watch your health, try to stay healthy. Video games are fun, but also be active. And with things that are as serious as cancer, do what you can. Try to catch it early if you can. Do what the doctors say. Just try to get as healthy as possible. Can't give up on yourself, and try to just really take care of yourselves. It's just really sad news. But a legend nonetheless has really affected the community positively, and I just hope he's, feeling better in the afterlife where he's at. I hope, my condolences to his family and friends. It's just sad news. I've also been taking strides to improve my personal health, and it's just really important to me lately. It's why one of the reasons that content has been a little bit sporadic for me lately. I've been just trying to focus on certain things and just trying to have a better quality of life. But anyways, the fun here is not going to stop. It's always going to be fun, entertaining hopefully, and it's going to be trying new things. I think this farm is going to make some people laugh. It's going to be just something silly, but also kind of inspiring, and I hope it inspires you guys to try different things. This was a massive amount of work so far, but the episode that's going to be next after this may not be a replay mod, and not just because of the updates and the waiting that we have to do for Optifine or OptiFabric, but just because I don't think we require to do the next episodes in replays. I think now that we've finally got to the AFK chamber, we can do this as a straight build chill type episode. We'll see how it goes, but as you can see, the filters, the shaders are off now, and it should be fun. I'll finally be able to fill up another chest at the Quantum Quick Stop Shop for sea lanterns. Now the question is, how much diamonds should we sell sea lanterns for? Of course, the farm will always be available for public access so that they can AFK on their own, and this isn't really a farm that's hard to AFK at. Especially, hopefully, with the decent spawn rates that are happening here. It should be quite easy to collect prismarine. I should probably mention that I also died many times in this process. I think I lost my pants too. And my axe. Not fun. That's not fun. Farm will be fun, but that process wasn't fun. Hey there, if you liked today's episode, be sure to hit that like button, or you can also subscribe. It's completely free. You can also let me know your feedback down in the comments section below. I always try to respond to everyone. Be sure to check out the descriptions for my videos because you may find many cool things like links to my Discord, Twitter, stores, and more. And if you really want to show your support, you can hit the join button to become a channel member. There are different tiers listed, and each tier will contain a number of different rewards. Whether you choose to like, comment, subscribe, or become a channel member, I look forward to interacting with you further through my videos. And however you choose to support the channel is greatly appreciated. So thank you. Okay, so this time there's not actually any bloopers, but let me show you what's been happening when I'm not recording. So you can see that the Guardian farm is actually now done down below. There's still a bit of work that has to happen up above the farm, and that's what we'll get to next time. But down here, you can see I also put in a lot of work into creating, well, this prismarine decor down here. There is actually a pattern going on here all the way around, and that was tough. There's a bit of a pattern up here, and then a bit of a pattern down here on that layer, and then there's another third layer here so that you can actually go and look at the guardians spawning in. It is quite dark down here, and that's okay because nothing is really spawning. And well, as far as nothing spawning, I mean like other mobs like skeletons and things of that nature, but the guardians are spawning as you're seeing there, and they're flowing right up. It's a little slow at this level, but once we get a little higher, it gets pretty crazy because I'm probably at a height right now where it's spawning in stuff caves below somewhere. But yep, there's a bit of a window there. Not sure why, because nothing's lit up. You can't actually see too much. You can kind of see a bit of the filtering system there. And down on this corner, I think we actually have a slime chunk over here. It's a bit slow because, well, I guess you got to be in range. And, yeah, it's a bit slow. But it is capturing a couple of slimes, which is good. You also hear the minecarts rolling down below along the border of this farm for all of the squids that drop along this side, or the outer sides. And there is a chest that is collecting a bit of that. Now there are a few mobs that will fall in through the water, like skeletons and whatnot, and some fish too, but you can see we are collecting a bit of ink as well. I still have a chest here that is full of stone, which I need to move now. Guys, I don't need any more stone. Thank you for your contributions. I've got way more than I actually need now. And yeah, the guardians are just super, super amazing. I can't wait to open up this farm. You can see a bit of what's happening up there. We'll get to that in just a moment, or shall I say next time. But I'm super excited to open this up to everybody. Can't wait. Can't wait. No bloopers today, but a bit of a sneak peek. Oh, that's going to be so much fun.